In the beginning of the chapter, it's becoming clear. He remembered the previous military battle. When we find the bodies, not mutants on the battlefield. After they die, they can't absorb their power. It's because after they die, all the energy comes back into the body. Not fake. How much of her ability has she absorbed? In the heart of Trong Yi, he concluded what he suspected. Since the end of the world began, you didn't pretend to have arranged everything. Has now become the most powerful mutant in Tianhai City. The plan behind her membrane. It makes people cold on their backs. Brow massage. In a moment, he's getting too much information. It's like a mess in my head. Too chaotic. We need to go back and think about this. Please also help me think more. What do we need to do to avoid being defeated by the flute cult? They need to be careful and have a perfect plan. Leave the control room and back to my room. He took off his sandals, jumping on the big soft bed. Hairy lining velvet swan. This bed, it's a unique piece of work. Prince Min is worth hundreds of thousands. It's a very special feeling when you wake up. The movement thinks, if we really want to get out of the Mediterranean city, we should also bring this bed. No, we can bring everything inside. Immediately, and he found his idea really funny. At a time like this, I'm worried about a bed. In fact, he couldn't give up his hiding place, where has brought happiness and a peaceful life. But now with the great danger that exists, he couldn't help but plan earlier. He sighed a little to himself. Who wants to go or not go to work? You will not live a day without my heart. Zombie lecture bang blood sugar. Many words appear at the beginning of the translation, hidden in the present. I don't know what they have to do with each other. His heart is still full of doubt. Can't explain it clearly. But if we don't make these things clear, he doesn't know how to go next. Any strategic plan, it is also based on two conditions. It's a really powerful force. Accurate intelligence information. Not without one of the two. Chung Yi lay in bed, chaotic mind as haunted by ghosts. He could conclude that danger is not. It was the cause of the rebellion in Tianhai City. But there's one thing he's wondering about. The connection between her and the dangerous group of zombies outside Kier. What is it? Even though he has the ability, can you control a large number of zombies in every large area of Tianhai City? More since that night, when the enemy attacks the price of sugar. It seems she's also incapable of zombie control. Otherwise, she definitely wouldn't have revealed the secret about possessing a variety of abilities in such an easy way. In theory, zombies aren't under her control. Is there someone else to cooperate with the risk of no more cracking or not? Close your eyes and remember the blood. It's full of confusing things. He used to think that zombies and blood are connected. From the words of the sword, he was also thinking about some things. But he verified it. The blood does not contain any zombie virus. If the zombies it's made can't help but leave traces. After long periods of stress and fighting, he was really tired too. Lying in his bed, he easily fell asleep. As in a dream, I don't understand it. Sao reappeared in the abandoned building and stand under the blood of the party. In front of him, the blood is much larger than the memory. Higher than 1,000 meters. This is weird. Remember that it's only about 100 meters high. But when the blood fog melts away, he suddenly saw a very disturbing sight. He saw the roots of blood beneath the ground in chaos and confusion, constantly crashing into the ground. And on each of those roots grew zombies one by one. They're like peanuts, growing in the mud on the stem attached to the blood roots, and constantly absorb nutrients into the body, swelling in a dream. It turns out that's it. Widen the eyes. Now he realized the point he had missed. That's the source of the blood. Zombies live on the ground. They're obviously adapted to a wet environment. It's dark underground. In panic, I saw a shadow appear. The eyes became sharp. The doctor can see that person's face clearly. That's why people with the ability to give their bodies. The sword comes before the blood that cuts his neck. Fresh blood flows like a stream into the roots of the tree, absorbed by it greedily. Next, the blood sugar roots grow stronger, and the zombies hanging on it are plump. Immediately think clearly about cause and effect. Turns out he's the one who's the point. Right now on the roots in front of him, hundreds of thousands of zombies suddenly opened their red eyes, staring at him. Suddenly woke up from a dream. He gasped, holding his head. Cold forehead with a wet sweat. But the complicated clues in his head. Because of a dream that's become clearer. I understand. It's all clear. Zhang Yi's eyes became deep and clear. He found a clue in the mess. Just rely on it to arrange. He can unravel the whole chain of events. Sitting up from the big bed. Take a notebook from the bedside closet. Then take advantage of Min-Man thinking to record everything. The zombie outbreak was 21 days ago. When the city of Hainan, they were attacked by zombies at the same time. The sword of justice has been brought to the snows. But that was a month ago. According to theory, before, the city of Tianhai has never seen zombies. It's the blood that makes the zombies so weak. The zombies that didn't attack died in the snow and ice. But with the power of the sword, blood is possible in a short time. Create more adult zombies. That's the origin of the king. After the king was born, we can move VI to the appropriate bodies. Create many zombies. But in that group, the king and his armor are clearly different compared to other zombies, because they have real life, even intelligence. The king is the center of the twins, represents the brain. Copper armor exam represents strength. You can't pretend to control the blood. And ordered the king. But she can't directly command the zombies. The king's wisdom is not high. They can only receive simple orders. This can be seen through them. Learning human actions. That can explain. At SAO co-armor, non-contest attack, Nu Yen, not stomach. About working at SAO, we don't get any information from the blood. It's probably because before we came to worship the snows, they've hidden the most important thing. Even if they deliberately leave loopholes. Let's investigate the blood. Use this to trick us into ignoring the doubt. After writing it, Zhang Yi threw the book down on the table and take a deep breath. It's finally clear that this is the truth. Zhang Yi's eyes became bright. No longer seem worried. Swish his chin. Just understand the cause of everything. We'll find a way to deal with it. Obviously, Ra non-fake can control zombies, so she can't let her great power. It's so easily destroyed. So it's just a play for us. No, it's really for the Jiangnan investigation team. Watch. They are afraid of the South China Sea. Have to make the investigation team believe zombie danger in Tianhai City has been solved, so they can leave. But once the soldiers and the Kier people actually left, you will not hesitate to attack us. Like that, she's definitely still got a lot of zombies. Even, it's much more than what was discovered outside. The snow. The more you think, the more dangerous it is not. The woman he met was about 20 years old. A cold and immature face. Like a girl like that. There is such a deep interior. It really makes people's backs cold. However, after thinking carefully, I feel like everything makes perfect sense. If he had the same aptitude as he did, he would probably choose to do the same as her. The current situation is extremely dangerous. The first thing to do is to be stable. The military and his group. We can't let them leave Tianhai City. But that, she's absorbed too much of the mutant's power. Even if we show that the AI can beat her. Before long-term meditation, this problem still can't find the answer. Maybe Wu has the ability to fight her. It's just his health condition. If again participating in a high-level battle between mutants will definitely increase the rate of his death. He will agree later. The fluid feels a headache when I have to think about so many things. He muttered. The more I think about things. While Zhang Yi pondered the door, there was a knock in his room. Yang Xin-Xin's voice echoed from outside the door. CA, can you come in? Trong immediately replied. Come on in. He pushed his wheelchair into the emergency room. CA, I thought of something to tell you right away. However, Trong Yip gave him back his notebook. Take a look at this first. Grateful to receive without surprise. This is Trong translated. By comparing Li's words in the problem, blood appeared. It must be 890. When you finish reading, ask for the translation. Do you have any plans? He said he had an idea in front of him. Listen a little to see if there's a problem. Don't tell anyone else about this first. If they knew, it would only create unnecessary panic. The opposite of the specific implementation. It's enough for the two of us to understand. Yang Han blinked curiously. Are you going to do this alone? Trong Yi laughed softly. His hands are in his pockets, eyes escape the warmth. So far, only we can do this. The concept of mutant hierarchy, it's becoming clearer now. The difference in dysfunctions among the ranks of mutants is extremely large. And the opponents they face, capable of reaching the highest level of humanity. Current Leaf Clone. We can't just rely on numbers to be able to win. We need to use all the power we can, along with some necessary tricks. In this situation, salary and fat words cannot help much. after hearing him talk about his deductions as well as a plan to deal with it. Dawn. Yang Xin gave you a nod. Okay, I know. In the snow. After Zhang Yi and other forces left, the rest of the snow, to start rebuilding the house. These lucky people survived. It's mostly people from the upper echelons of the church and their families, along with some of the more fortunate, not completely devoured by zombies. However, they have lost many friends and family. Extremely tragic mood. Those who are alive, no matter how desperate you've been, still have to live. Turn tin-tinted, I'm alertly commanded everyone. Rearranging the accommodation. He also ordered them to start clearing the battlefield. Transfer all bodies to the building, where the blood is. At the same time, collect the remaining materials. Prepare for a new life. Because the number of people is small, there is no shortage of supplies. This is the only good news for them. He also collected tents, sleeping bags and other things. Find shelter against the wind and snow. After completing the basic tasks, he entered the church. Discuss the action plan with the original non-fake. I don't feel like standing in front of the altar praying. Zheng Yat first closed the door and stood a distance from her. The corner of his mouth showed a faint smile. Everything's going well, isn't it? Now, the whole Tianhai city. No AI can stop our progress anymore. And no one doubts us. The death of more than 1,000 of them. Enough to ease their doubts. To create pity. Now we just have to wait. The investigation team left quietly. You don't slowly open your eyes. You too are as transparent as the East Sea. But there's one thing that worries me now. Zheng Yat first, you hedgehog. What else worries you? Our plan is perfect. From beginning to end, there are no gaps. Even the blood in the back has been thoroughly dealt with by us. You don't turn back. He looked at Zheng calmly. That night, someone saw me using someone else's abilities. The cold light flashed in Zheng's eyes. You said that? Zoe and the woman with him. At that time in the synagogue, except for Zhu Kaini, everyone else belongs to the church. Snowspear's people were bound. You can't reveal any information about the source. For outsiders. But Zhu Hai is not a member of the church. She witnessed it. They don't use other abilities. It is likely to reveal the secret of the unknown. You don't talk with your eyes down. This is what we're always worried about. I don't know if that's a potential risk. Zheng Yat first thought a little, then suddenly smile and say, don't worry. Not bad. Even if you use other abilities, why? In this world, how many mutants do you know with a variety of different abilities? Who can say? It doesn't allow a person to have multiple types of abilities at the same time. We are the snows in this war. He suffered the 7 worst. No one doubts us. Even if they have doubts, why? At the most, he also discovered the secret of the ice. The neighborhood doesn't care about this kind of thing. There are other houses, haha. On Zheng's face, he showed arrogance. Now, even though they know the secret to the ice, it doesn't make any sense. You don't nod. That's right before absolute power. Everything else is meaningless. The world now only obey the rules of the powerful. So when the investigation team leaves, we should also act. You don't hold your eyes full of reverence. The best food must be kept to enjoy. Finally, as long as we can absorb it, of all the leaders, my power will reach the heights. Can't imagine. I will become the god of the new world at the shelter. He and Duong talked for a long time. Talk about the action plan. The company also added small details. Not significant. This plan will be harsh. But for the sake of their lives, they must. Shin said, if we can search for the hidden zombies, I can prove that your thoughts are right. Jiang Nam in the Kier neighborhood said he might pay more attention. Dilate your chin. Think hard. It's a very high probability. There's evidence they'll believe what we say. But right now, let's not tell anyone. I understand the meaning of the translation. When there is accurate evidence, we will personally contact Jiangnan's team. South Africa asked them to help. Worried to ask, are you going to find the evidence alone? The translation confirmed. The story until now. Only we can do this. He left the room and said back. CACA if you need to contact me at any time. He nods no problem. The next day, the situation in the hideout remains very peaceful. Everyone thinks the zombie threat is over. And the Tianhai city will no longer be dangerous. So everyone's face is filled with smiles. They're happy to talk about tomorrow and the future. Even dreaming of a day not far away. It will all be together. Go to Donghai Beach for a walk. Imagine looking at the vast sea of fishing. Or one day we'll come to the base of million weapons. Negotiate a little. See if you can travel to the sea. Trong Yi laughed loudly. Sometimes I give my opinion. As if all his worries didn't exist. After breakfast, prepare to go out. The king was curious and asked him what he wanted to do. He shrugged and laughed. Even though the king was killed. But definitely, there are still some zombies around. Let's go clean up a little. Convenient. Learn a little more of the techniques that the teacher taught you. Hearing that, the salary stood up. Then I will go with you. I can guide you a little more. Zombies can't be done alone. The words fat and fat are also spoken. He expressed his desire to go with Zhang Yi. Think for a moment and laugh. No need. We don't have to confront the king. Or copper armor exam. It's even more inconvenient if we all go to work loudly. Seeing the determined faces of everyone, he said. So let's split up the action. People are active around the place, hiding, each one sweeping an area. People find Trong's words reasonable. Agree to his offer. Go ahead and say. Get dressed before I go one step ahead. So everyone's wearing combat gear. Bring your weapons and start out hunting. Choose a secondary direction to carry out the cleanup. He goes alone, but carry his most trusted charism. Flowers. However, this time he brought the flower not because he needed protection. Ever since the discovery of gravity, Zhang Yi's ability to protect the fate reached another peak. As long as he wants to run away, use gravity to continuously switch positions. No one can catch him now. He needs flowers, with the sense of smell of a wild animal. He's taken from space the ability to pull out a car. He is alone with the flower. Fast forward to the subway GA. The campaign to lead Hoa Hoa to the second, where the entire subway tunnel is frozen. Make it hard. He took out the satellite phone. Glance at the subway map of Tianhai City. Then tell the flower, let's go find them. Lift up the snowmobile. The flower squats in the side seat. The car moves along the train tracks, creating snowstorms, and move quickly forward. After a few hours, they arrived at the temple. It's near the main command center of the sermon. From there, the command center of the Zuit. It's about 10 kilometers. The movement does not continue to advance. He is with the flower. Get off and collect the sled into the hyperspace. He took out the satellite phone. This place is a snowy distance. It's more than 10 kilometers. The route we take immediately goes to the subway. See if there are zombies. It is all because of your sense of smell. When you hear it, you sound like you agree. Then he found an entrance and went down. Map. The subway of the city of Tianhai is very large, with a total length of more than 800 kilometers. If you just walk in the tunnel, it took at least half a month. As Zhang Yi possesses dubious subject skills, it can not only be used to travel through space, but also as a placement skill. Even though opening the diathesis doesn't drain the diathesis, so that he can repeatedly open and close the door. To move quickly. This time, the purpose of the translation to the underground area of Tianfeng is to find a group of zombies hiding underground. He believes that there's definitely a large number of zombies hiding here, with a strong fighting ability. That's the hidden card of the original Unscrupulous, to completely destroy other forces in Tianhai City. Just find them. He can also do the second part. In my plan, subway space in Tianhai City. A very large number of people think it's highly likely. They hide in the sky, near the snow. He chose to come here first. A person and a cat, constantly moving in the subway tunnel. The flower sits on the shoulder of the translation, eyes as big as copper bells. Its sense of smell can detect zombies within 1,000 meters around. The taste of the Kier host virus is clear. It is very different from the smell of zombies. Normally, pay careful attention, constantly moving back and forth in the subway tunnel. If in danger, he'll run to the ground first. In the heart of Trong Yi, pray not. They are in danger of not detecting their tracks. If not, you didn't realize you were discovered. Will immediately target the translation chapter. Even if you believe in your ability to protect yourself. But not really. They may soon attack his hideout. He can protect himself. But protecting everyone around him, it's much harder. After half an hour of searching every corner of the tunnel, Thien Feng area subway, there's no trace of it. Of any group of zombies. The flower still has no reaction. The swelling feels strange. In theory, they should hide here. Why is it so? If it is not in heaven, do we have to search the entire city of Tianhai? No. Or the existence of a larger group of zombies. It's just that my thoughts are too far away. Frowning and frowning, but quickly dismissed that thought. No, they definitely exist. You are not. There's no reason to give up such an important card. A person's whole body is iron. It's only used to make nails. She needs a giant army that's totally submissive. I believe that her ambition, not just limited in this little Tianhai city, even if there's no harvest on this one. The doctor was prepared from the beginning for the results. Not as expected. It's also reasonable. The surrounding area, the snow flute had just fought a great battle. If the group of zombies hiding here might be discovered, if not found here, then we'll accept to make it a little harder on ourselves. Search the entire tunnel, subway in Tianhai City. Zhang Yi's eyes flashed with determination. He opened the door and went somewhere else. To prevent the potential risk, best protection for yourself and others. Willing to do annoying things. He opened his cell phone. Mark on the map Feng exam area. That he checked. However, there are 10 other areas in Tianhai City. He hasn't investigated. He said to himself, let's check every area. We'll find it. Trong Yi said and rubbed the head of the flower. The cat is amused to close its eyes. Of course, in principle. I also hope it's because I've thought too far. In fact, there are no zombie groups. There is no conspiracy. Zhang Yi said quietly to himself. In that day, Trong Yi searched all the train routes, subway in Tianhai City. When he reached the northeastern border of the Tianhai City, it's one of the most desolate areas. The flower finally had an unusual reaction. As soon as we get to the tracks in this area, hair flower erect. Keep your eyes fixed on the dark tunnel. Emitted a long warning roar. He's faced zombies many times, and you're familiar with this gas. What's more, it shows such fear. The number of zombies in front is not small. Zhang Yi looked at the satellite phone, even feel like the burden has been lifted. You've come this far. The flower jumped from above Trong Yi. Reaction in front of the tunnel. Speak to yourself. Turns out they're hiding here. The wild mountain area of Tianhai City. One of the most remote places. It's a place where nature and cities merge. There are hardly any resources worth having here. So there's no power to take over. You're not hiding a group of zombies here. Really wise. His eyes were filled with alarm. Even though he's capable of space travel. Make sure you and the flower are safe. But there are two things that are concerning. The first, he doesn't want to start a mass zombie outbreak anytime soon. Avoid causing violence. Second, in the zombie group, there's the existence of intelligent beings, like the king. If they discover his existence, I will definitely tell you not to fake it. Suddenly, he had a thought. Fluid opens up the space of power, and take out a big gray mouse. It's almost the same size as a flower. Eyes glowed with an unusual pink light. But that's not a real mouse. It's a computer mouse made by 6 Revelations, helped to promote manufacturing. To not be detected as abnormal. Expand translation. Has repeatedly smeared the blood of large rats on humans. It makes sure its smell doesn't matter. Then he put it deep in the tunnel. I am with the flower. Quickly retreat to a safe distance. Okay, we'll see you next. Immediately expand translation, take out satellite phone. Through automatic control system. Steer the mouse towards the front of the subway tunnel. Forward sliding machine. This giant mouse was created by 6 Revelations. Very lively. If you don't look closely, you can't recognize it as a mouse. It's even able to mimic a mouse's meow. Conduct simple communication. The mouse quickly moves through the tunnel. Underground, and the mountain wilderness of the railroad is vast. I can't check everything quickly. The epidemic is not in a hurry. He is also patient in doing this work. All the pictures in the subway tunnel. It's all transmitted to satellite phones through the perspective of the mouse. He waited a long time to speak for himself. I've run all the way to Tianhai. Do we really think a lot? There is no possibility. You're not. Can't let go of such a big trump card. He is extremely determined. Find out again, and there will be results. After about 2 hours of waiting, translation and flowers, I finally found the picture they want to see. In the deepest part of the subway tunnel, underground mountain wilderness, there's an incredibly large number of zombies hibernating, stacked on top of each other, across the tunnels. Translation program is estimated to be from 300,000 or more. And this number is just the lowest. The highest limit cannot be measured. Because in front, the mouse could not continue to move. The Tianhai city has nearly 20 million dead. These are all great ingredients for making zombies. Just give them enough time. The number of zombies that can pass the rating. Can't. We must return quickly. Take this news to the border. Take a deep breath. Then, he's driving the mouse out of the zombie zone. And find a drain to get in. Eventually, the mouse there goes into a waiting state. If necessary, he can use it. If not, leave it there. He doesn't want anyone else discovered its existence. Translate with Hoa. Quickly leave the underground tunnel. Back to the ground. I can feel the cold wind outside. Looking out at the vast snow field and breathe out a long breath. Even though he confirmed his prediction, but I don't feel happy. To expand the thought, the real challenge is still behind.